Welcome to Cognitive Business Automation. I'm here with Wolfgang from IBM. Hi Wolfgang, thank you for taking your time to this interview with me. Could you just introduce yourself and tell us a little about your professional background?
Hi Gemma, I'm a business development executive at IBM, and in that function right now I am part of the Watson AI team, and I'm looking after innovation in the terms of artificial intelligence with our customers in the German market. German-speaking market, I would say, predominantly. And so that is also, the contribution we want to make to this conference. How can we help customers on the cognitive side?
And what do you see as a milestone of your work at IBM in terms of cognitive business automation and AI?
I'm working in this field, to be honest, in the last 2 years when this became a very hot focus area for IBM. Before that, my background is in the area of analytics and big data. I focused on a lot in the last 8 years. And so I've been in the domain of IBM software for a very long time, though. But now the focus is more how to get people moving to the cloud. And to tell you the truth, our AI specialization is entirely cloud-based. So everything we do with our customers is not only taking them onto a cognitive journey, but also is at the same time, often and maybe sometimes for the first time, we are doing those solutions, we're deploying them on the cloud for the first time. So it's for the customer a transformation in many ways, as it is for us, for ourselves. And so our milestone, I would say, is I have a very big telecom customer in the German market, who decided to transform his customer service operations, by moving into things like chatbots and also cognitive support for their customer agents. And so we were engaging in this project just about 2 years ago when it started. And now we are in the mode that we move those solutions into production and see the rewards of the work. And so that's been a very nice milestone to join this journey from the very beginning and then take the customer to that journey and keep carrying on and build from there and build on top of it. So that's not the longest project I've been working on. And then new other cognitive journeys, as we say, are starting.
What are the latest trends in cognitive technologies that everyone should be aware of?
We are, enhancing the experience with cognitive solutions in many ways. So, the focus has been very strongly in the area of natural language type of support for cognitive solutions. We are now, this year, we are enhancing that experience with machine learning and deep learning experiences where we put special models into the equation so that not only we have natural language use cases, but also more analytical data science type of use cases. And so you have like the two parts of the brain, if you want, the cognitive part and the other one. Mm-hmm. And that makes it a more full-scale approach. So that is a trend that we have adopted very strongly this year. And to look at the focus of this conference is how to extend the scope from just using the cognitive part, but also the robotics part. And that's why we said also why we want to take part of this exciting event.
What do you see as the main challenges in the near future of cognitive technologies?
As you see, and when you read through the press, you will find, about every week you find something, you read about AI in various ways. Now, what you often hear is the concerns about ethics. Is it ethical what we do? Now, does it expose classical jobs to, are they threatened? For example, in customer service, do we substitute jobs with the robots? That is a concern you hear everywhere, in all industries, but still you see a positive spirit, I would say, in all customer engagements, that you would say the trend is more, so the glass is more half full than half empty. I'm a bit skeptical of those people who just say, it's going to go south, and all people are going to be laid off, and you hear a lot of those pitches. But I say, in my experience with all innovations, it's new aspects arise and that create new jobs again that haven't existed before, and that is what people don't take into account strong enough. So, I have always got like a more positive attitude at things. And, but you even hear from people like Elon Musk saying, look, we need to govern this, we need to put some legislation on, it's going to be the biggest threat of mankind or whatever it is. But maybe it's also, those prominent speakers trying to, let's say, put other conversations aside, by putting these things in focus. So that's my personal opinion on this one.
Okay. And then how do you plan on supporting your clients in tackling these challenges?
As I said, the ethical part of things is often, let's say, a big task of the client, so that they see they need to manage this transformation in a politically wise way. And that is something we cannot necessarily help our clients with. Well, we can of course give them good advice, but the clients need to be aware of that it is not something they can take for granted, because even when you build a cognitive solution, you need the support of skilled workers, training a robot or training a machine learning model of what it is. A robot doesn't have to be an R2D2 kind of thing. It could be a piece of software, effectively. But you need to take to pull the brains of skilled people who need to participate and need to see that this is a worthwhile exercise. It shouldn't be in a way that they feel with this exercise they make themselves redundant. The result should be that with the support of those robots, it makes their job more valuable. So that's, I think, the art of balancing the activity in a positive way and having a positive spirit of the transformation. So, in some cases, it needs to be, especially like markets in Germany, you need to deal with it with the right political care. Like we have things like unions who may, when they learn of it, they see maybe this should be something they don't want to see happening, because potentially jobs are threatened. And then you need to deal with it in a proper way. But the customers themselves need to see how to manage those kind of transitions in the right way. I mean, I've seen that before. And in the 90s, I was part of a big movement as well, which at least had the same hype character to it, like workgroup computing with the Lotus nodes. And we had it back then, that we had things like office automation kind of things, and it had to be aligned with what the unions think, or the Betriebsrat, workers' councils think. It's been a challenge back then. So what we managed it then, we will manage it today. I'm confident.
What exciting projects have you been working on at IBM recently?
The one with the telecom project I just described. Another exciting use case has been actually with a government client who said, how could AI support our daily work and, make research more efficient, how to do background checks in a more efficient way, in a more professional way, also more compliant way. And they thought that our technology like Watson could do this, could master this complexity. And then we engaged with them in a couple of workshops and then designed a solution as they wanted to perform those background checks, and the customer was very happy. It was done in an agile methodology, so we did weekly sprints to demonstrate to the customer, what he'll get and how he will experience the new solution. And after, during the summer, we developed the whole solution and deployed it, and the customer is using it, is very happy now, and he said, his expectations were more than satisfied. He can do the work now 4 times faster with this use case, which he had thought of himself. And the striking experience for me was, we could have had that idea ourselves beforehand, but it was the customer who had the idea and just wanted to see if we could get that done. And now, so we learned from the customer what might be very useful, and then we built it, and it worked.
So why did you decide to partner at this event?
The CBA is the first time we participate. I think it's also maybe the first time we have this format. And so our marketing decided to pick this event, to bring in our strengths as a market kind of leader in the cognitive space with AI solutions. And then we, I looked at it and said, how can we demonstrate that we can do both the cognitive part and the robotics? And I think that was a good example. We did some research. There was one project I was also part of in the last year. And so we presented this, an example of the supply chain management use case in this morning's keynote. And I think it was perfectly right for the audience, especially people who are more from the industrial domain will see the value. So I believe the format of the CBA is well chosen. And, I got particularly interested when I saw the first version of the agenda, see, who's speaking, who's coming. And I think that's a very interesting audience. And we want to explore in this domain more into the area of robotics, because it fits very nicely together. And I saw this in later sessions just before lunch, that this is also what other customers are thinking.
How are you finding the event so far, and what are you hoping to gain from being here? I
find the event very well designed from the agenda, because you have a lot of customer examples, what customers are doing and how they are approaching robotics, and together with cognitive solutions. And it's not only a vendor event, it's really also customers using it themselves, and the customers are telling what they experience and how they feel they gain traction with this. So this is what I find very valuable, and so I want to take away engaging into discussion with the customers to see how we can develop more opportunities in the area of cognitive solutions and robotics.
Thank you for answering our questions, and enjoy the rest of the event.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.